Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Cabernet. Last time we left off, we were, I almost said love drunk. No, we're blood drunk, not love drunk. That would be something totally different. So the question is, what do I want to do? I don't suppose I can do anything to help you out now that my stats are boosted. I did mention going to go talk to Roman, because that would probably be fun for the final tour. But let's see about this.
I'm alright, dear.
Perform a checkup. Science 15, might as well.
Mind if I take another look at you?
I'm not much to look at these days, but please be my guest.
There we go. This will probably be helpful.
Huh. Have you been experiencing any pain in the chest area?
Now that you mention it, something didn't feel quite right there recently.
Interesting. I have to admit, it would be highly unusual, but I believe you may have rheumatic fever. It's much more commonly found in children, so this would be a rather rare case.
Well, people always tell me that I am still a child at heart. Perhaps they are more right about it than they think, huh? Is this something I should be concerned about?
If it is what I think it is, with the right treatment, we should be able to fix you in no time. I am glad we caught it at this stage, though. Otherwise, there could have been some rather unpleasant complications. Here is something to help with the inflammation. Take it regularly, and you should feel better soon enough.
Thank you, little dove. What a lucky crone I am to have an angel like you next door.
God, that got me so much XP.
I don't know if that's quite true.
Don't be shy, dear. You deserve it. Smart as a whip, pretty as a picture. If you stay true to your heart, I can just tell you will go far. This town needs someone like you. Now, more than ever.
Thank you. I'll see what I can do.
That's all one can do anyway, isn't it?
Would you like some help?
Would you like some help with the plants?
How sweet of you to offer. But I'm all right, dear. Taking care of them brings me joy. That will be my one good deed for the day.
One good deed?
Oh, that's just a silly rule of mine. Every day, no matter how small, I like to do at least one good thing. Helped out a stranger with directions. Great. Baked some cookies for the neighbors. Even better. Feeding the plants will do just fine for today.
Lisa may remember this in the future. Sounds hard.
Boy, that sounds tiring.
You'd think so. But once you start doing it, it just becomes second nature.
It does sound tiring, but yeah, like it sounds like a lot to keep up with, but it's probably still good for you.
And that's the great thing about it. It's never too late to start.
I'm really bad with like keeping up with things like that, so that's why I specifically chose the nihilistic answer there. But I do agree with Vienna here.
Well, off you go, little dove. Don't want to hold you with my ramblings any longer.
Good night, Vienna. Feel better soon.
Alright, we cured you. And that didn't cost me any time at all. Which is quite good. Now the question becomes, what else could I possibly do with, my boosted stats here?
Apologies.
There is the lesson, but I think that takes time. So I kind of don't want to do that.
Ah, my favorite.
Speak privately. Other topics? Guinea's journal.
Let's not.
Oh, you don't have the journal.
You already.
Whether as a product, I consider fine.
You really are.
Lisa, would you care to make?
Let's play for it. Let me buy it out. No, so there wasn't any.
After that.
Wait, could I just steal from you now? Could I just do that? It takes time, though. It does take time, but couldn't I just pickpocket it off you, hopefully? Because I tried that before and it did not work, so I'm kind of scared to do it. I suppose I could save, and if I don't get anything, save scum it, basically. Just to see. I don't want to do it while my stats are boosted, though, because I don't need the boosted stats for that, basically. So, that's something to consider, though. I can't just pickpocket it off of you.
Lovely night, isn't it?
Second piano lesson, donate to
Good
instruments. I can't do that. Honestly, I'm not going to donate to the instrument fund anyway because you like me enough. I frankly don't need it, if I'm going to be honest. Okay, so... I wonder if there's any other skill checks around that I could do now. Maybe in town?
Stay away now.
Get away from me.
Shoo!
Maybe. It still says it's too dark down here for me to actually hunt the rabbit. Not that I need to right now. Is there anything I can, like, do or say to Trophim? Have I also even ever been over here?
It's too dark. I don't want to stumble on a branch and break my neck.
Okay, yeah, so you won't let me go there at the moment. There's some weird stuff happening on the bottom of the screen. I think that's because of the vignetting that's going on due to my, my blood drunkenness. I think. So, I just want to check around here a little bit more. You're not home. But if I hadn't gotten the piece of the painting earlier, I could have grabbed it now.
More huts.
No reason to go that way. No reason to do anything with you.
I was always terrified that I would fall into a well when I was little. Far scarier things to worry about now.
It is funny what things you'll be terrified of as a kid. I remember one of the incredibly weird things that I was terrified of as a kid was, like, I would regularly have dreams about it. We had a pool, and I was terrified that, there would be a shark in it one day. Just, like, randomly, magically, there's a shark in the pool, basically. So, that was a thing. Why does that say? Oh, because it's, I thought it was saying that at, like, this thing. And I was like, what? Why can I, what? I was very confused. Okay. I guess we're just gonna go, do the, final tour with Roman. Seems like a good call. Alright, Roman.
I was so hoping you'd stop by.
Looking for something. Move on. Other. Continue the tour.
I wondered if it was a good time to continue our tour. I know I've taken far too much of your time already.
Please, please. I take as much enjoyment from our time together as you. Perhaps even more. Now the question is, where shall we go? You know, the creature you asked about before, the Nav, at the time I knew nothing more than what was in the book. However, I dug a little further and found that we happen to have our very own Nav legend right here in town, on Lover's Island.
Ah, you're taking me to Lover's Island?
How thrilling! I would indeed be most interested to learn more.
It's decided then. We're off to Lover's Island, where tales of our Nav await.
Convenient.
Ah, splendid. It's still here.
Is this something you do often?
Is this something you've done before? Tours of Lover's Island for the local townswomen?
Ha! Only for those with a thirst for folklore, who also desire to spend an evening in a cold boat. In other words, never. Though I've made the journey alone many times.
Then I feel lucky to be beside you.
Oh.
Did you say a cold boat?
I did indeed.
So, Lover's Island. Such a curious name.
You will soon come to learn just how curious.
And you say this place has a connection to a nav?
Yes, you see, a nav is said to arise from a tragic or untimely death.
Oh. One of the lovers died?
A soul grown hateful towards those who enjoy the life of which they were robbed.
Very cryptic. And who exactly is this nav in question?
Several hundred years ago, this town and its surrounding counties were owned by a cruel lord, a general. The lord's most loyal underling was a man named Dragomir.
Dragomir?
Yes, Dragomir was a native of town, and as such, he had been the lord's closest advisor since being gifted with the estate.
Land and people for a gift.
To be gifted a town and all the people within it. Such strange, cruel rules we live by.
Yeah. Alright, and then let's check on my XP. I've gotten a fair amount. Cool.
Lisa, I fear you are beyond correct. With all his flaws, Dragomir had been vital in keeping the townsfolk safe from his lord's most vicious acts, redirecting his anger elsewhere.
And the island?
In his youth, Dragomir spent many a long day escaping to the island with his childhood love Elena, far from the eyes of their parents.
So this is an island where lovers elope?
You won't think it's so romantic when you hear the full story.
What a shame.
That's a shame. It is a hauntingly beautiful place for romance to blossom.
That's not to say romance cannot return to these shores.
Oh, we're doing a big flirt. We're doing a big flirt. If this was me in this situation, I would have no idea I was being flirted with. I would have no idea. I'd be like, nah.
I look forward to hearing the rest of it. Let's head out.
Alright.
We've arrived.
This is also my first time being on this island, which is nice because now I get to basically double dip, because normally it takes an action point to come over here, but I had to spend an action point on the tour anyway, so I got to come over here without having to spend the action point normally to use the boat. So it's kind of like combining the two things into one action point, which is convenient.
Explore at your leisure.
Find all artifacts.
What do you have there?
That's an ore. Oh, the game is freaking out there at the bottom? That's weird.
It looks like part of an old ore, preserved in the mud.
That's weird. That's the game, because it's showing up for me and in the recording. So it's not like my weird issue I had before.
We are surely not the first to set ashore here under the cover of darkness.
It might be something caused by, once again, the blood drunkenness and that vignetting.
Let us continue the tale. The Lord was known to marry every year, only for his wives to disappear, leaving behind terrible rumors of their demise. When it once again came time for the Lord to take a wife, Dragomir's childhood love, Elena, was a victim of the Lord's desires.
Ah. So? Or how awful? No, that's pretty awful.
Such evil.
Enough to rival even the darkest of authors' minds. Though I'm afraid this is not fiction. Where were we? Oh yes. On the eve of her betrothal to the Lord, Elena plotted with Dragomir to elope together, leaving town and the cruel Lord far behind. They were to meet in the old abandoned house on this island, their secret childhood sanctuary. Now let us continue exploring.
Thank you, Roman. Thank you. Oh yeah, when you just walk around on this area, like, the screen kind of freaks out. Weird. Okay, now there's a burned house. Yeah, it seems like it's just this area, too. Odd.
An old bronze candlestick.
Perhaps it is the very same that was lit on that dark night. The Lord held tight patrols around the perimeter of his estate. The only route of escape was across the lake where no guards patrolled. Dragomir held watch duty outside the Lord's chambers that evening. He would have to wait until the dead of night before he could leave unnoticed. He would leave a boat for Elena to row to the island after dusk, where she would light a single candle in the window as a sign of her arrival.
A beacon of hope on the darkest of nights.
Dragomir would meet her there, and the two would sail together to the opposite shore, where a horse and freedom awaited.
To risk one's life for love.
Would you do the same?
There's always another love. I would. Yes, for a special person, yeah.
For the right person, yes, I believe I would.
Then this right person you speak of should consider themselves lucky beyond compare.
Would you?
Even if love were not a factor, I would do so, just to help her escape a cruel and undeserved fate. Though I am somewhat mistrustful of horses. Let us continue.
Ah, I see. Alright, thank you. There's the painting piece. Let's make sure we grab that first. It won't let me grab it. No, it won't let me pick it up. Probably because it's not one of the artifacts. Oh, that's a shame. Hopefully I don't have to come back here just for the painting.
An abandoned house.
I believe it predates the Nav legend. A hermit is said to have lived here during the Dark Ages. The hour approached, and Dragomir crept from the door of his lord's chambers, making for the lake. He arrived at the shore to see Elena's boat was absent. As to be expected, she must be awaiting him on the island.
All according to plan, thus far.
He rowed through the dark water. As he drew nearer, a light became visible, flickering on the island. Dragomir reached the shore and ran to the doors of the house, his heart filled with joy.
What a setup.
You really know how to set up a character for a fall. I'm picturing him skipping with a picnic basket in hand.
Ha! It's a storyteller's #1 trick of the trade. The higher the heart, the greater the fall. Dragomir flung the door open to find no sign of Elena, just a solitary candle burning upon the windowsill.
Haunting.
Quite.
Okay, how much XP is that? 28? Okay, we're not getting a ton of XP, but we are getting some. Okay, so that's my final thing, I think. And here's the make-out point.
It appears to be some kind of blade.
Yes. I'd say a spear tip.
Yeah, the Lance of Longinus.
The remnant of a bloody deed, perhaps. The tale continues. The door to the house suddenly slammed shut, followed by the sound of a large bolt sliding into place and a familiar voice. "You dare try to flee with that which is mine?" The Lord spoke, and Dragomir's eyes filled with horror.
I have a suspicion they aren't getting on that horse.
"Now you will burn," spoke the Lord, and with that the house was ablaze. Dragomir screamed in anguish as the cabin was engulfed. On any approach to the windows, the spears of the Lord's men would greet him. He was trapped.
Oof, burned alive is the worst way to go.
Dragomir burned to death in this very house, betrayed by his love through fear.
Yeah, I was about to say, Elena must have done it. Oh, because she was just terrified of what the Lord would do.
And what of her?
Elena was wed to the Lord that very morning. The scent of Dragomir's burning flesh still clinging to the Lord's beard as they kissed. Her fate after that day is unknown.
Probably died like the rest. She broke an oath to the Lord. This is horrible. No, this is horrible. No. We're not going the Lord worship route in nihilism. You quit that nihilism. We're a nihilist. That doesn't mean we're gonna enable the Lords being jackasses. This is horrible.
Such evil as I've never heard.
Then you should consider yourself lucky.
And with that, I'm assuming, a Nav was born. One who knows only hatred, pain, and despair.
Well, yes, according to the local residents, though I find the reality far more comforting.
Which is?
That Dragomir's suffering ended that night when his body could no longer take the flame.
Ooh, I don't have enough for Science 25. A shame.
You truly believe them to be tales?
I believe all folk tales have a root in reality. The often brutal conditions of our world cause such unspeakable suffering. This makes us look beyond our physical confines to find solace and justice in the magical.
Yeah, that makes sense. More truth than you think.
Perhaps there is more truth in some of these tales than you realize.
What do you mean, Miss Morozova?
I suppose I have seen things that make me less skeptic.
Yeah, I'm a vampire Roman.
I would be eager for you to share these things when you are ready.
Yes, I may.
But we're not allowed.
Lisa,
Right?
I'd tour the world if it could be in your company, but it may be for the best that this is our last. I fear people will start to gossip if they see us alone together another night.
Let's make the rumors true. Let's do it.
Then, let us make these rumors true and official before the townsfolk have means to. If this is agreeable to you, of course.
Ah, the blush. The blush. There we go. There we go.
Far more than agreeable. Every second with you has been filled with joy and beauty.
Then we can enjoy the seconds, hours, and days to come. Together.
Well, this is not going to be a fun time, though, when you super die before me and grow old while I don't.
Well, it appears Lover's Island has found redemption. Now let us return to the mainland, together.
Alright, I'm boning Roman. Lisa's now sober. I'm boning Roman. That's good. That's what we want. Yay, we got a romance. That's cool. I mean, Roman is nice, and Roman also fits in with my character, basically, for lack of a better term, like the character build that I currently have going. So it makes sense to me. Although I wonder if you can romance Anastasia as well, because it would be pretty cool to romance Anastasia. She's the other one that I was interested in, or the cool purple-haired vampire lady. Her too. There's a lot of good options, let's say. A lot of good options. I am ready to end this day. Chat with Faina at the town square. New mail's waiting for me in the post box. Check your mail. Check on Anastasia in her garden. Interesting. Okay, we got quite a few things to do. All right. Put on my dress. I'm no longer love drunk or blood drunk. Yeah, and now I'm low on blood again. Yep, so that's gonna be a problem. I gotta watch it and make sure I don't have that happen again. Admittedly, because I don't want to have to drink blood that much. All right, let's put my history and politics up to 20 at least. At least 20? Let's do 21 and then put 2 into literature and writing to get it to 18. Cause yeah, 25 and I think 30 are some of the highest checks I've seen, so doesn't hurt to get even more points into that.
Too bad I can't. I want.
Alright, I think we're gonna go ahead and end this episode off though. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for some more.